This is going to be difficult. So let me get good and stoned so that you're impressed by how self-controlled I can be. So as an addendum to last year's commentary on these movies that are like Deathmatch, Squid Game, Hunger Games, etc., and how much the people seem to love these films. They're a little too on the nose for me, I think, and this year I must have seen the Hunger Games trailer 100 times. I must have seen that trailer 100 times. Like it's the 1990s, and I'm watching 6 hours of television a day, and I'm watching regular television, and I'm watching commercials. So I have to watch the Hunger Games commercial 100 times. 100 times a week I've seen the Hunger Games commercial. And it's only because of this new context of being older than 30 years old, where the context of the old Hunger Games was being 16 and 20 years old. That was the old Hunger Games context. Even when we were 20 and 30 years old and the Hunger Games movie was out, the context was still high school and the rat race. What we thought was like industrialization, and we were like, we had just stopped being anti-civilization because we had been young hippies. And we were anti-civ. But the new context for the Hunger Games, is this present darkness. This present darkness is the current context for the Hunger Games. And in this present context, after listening to just the words for 100 times, I have to explain to you what you don't understand about this current Hunger Games movie. In this current Hunger Games trailer, Peter Dinklage says it's not your job to make them into survivors. It's your job to make them into a spectacle. And the context in the old context is that the young people are good and moral, and that the old people are drones and mercenaries. That's the old context. So we think that Peter Dinklage is saying, we don't really care whether they live or they die. Make them fun, make them clowns. That's what we think that we're looking at. But that is not what the commercial's saying. You have to understand that what this commercial is saying, that this is the 10th annual, this is like a number of Hunger Games. We've already done it. At the beginning of the Hunger Games, they thought that they had done it too many times. They were like, this is our 10th Hunger Games already. I can't believe that we've done 10 of these. It's the first one that we're going to broadcast. And when Peter Dinklage says, it's not your job to make them survivors, it's in this present context of our young people, where every single person is a monster and a sociopath. So under this present context, one second, I gotta check. This is language, right? Like, I'm speaking English? I'm speaking English, right? I'm speaking English, right? Hey. He positioned himself to be a monster. My bag is not tall enough. We need... There it is. So, in that film, during that time, all the young people are winners. So when he says it's not your job to make them survivors, it's because they already are. Every single one of them maxed out. But the problem is that in a world where all of your young people are maxed out sociopaths, there's no reason for anyone to watch. They don't have character. They don't have anything for you to empathize with. They don't have any... And so when Peter Dinklage says, it's your job to make them a spectacle, what he's saying is, and this is very strange because he's a tiny little baby man, what he's saying is, turn them into babies, turn them into big-eyed cartoons, make them something that people want to watch. Give them some kind of something other than each individual person saying me, everything all the time, always. But we don't know that yet. We don't understand that yet. The most beautiful thing in that trailer is this bucket full of worms. There's a bucket full of rainbow worms. It's the only thing in the entire trailer worth looking at. After you're done watching that film, you're going to be rooting for the rainbow worms in the bucket of poisonous rainbow worms. And if you're asking me if I just put a novel with an assassin prince between me and the schizoid, and that I completely nullified that variance, if you're asking me if I just did that on video, the answer is yeah, I just did that. Yeah.